earlier this year, I had the worst appraisal I have ever had in my many years of selling real estate. I could not believe how low this came in, but we were able to work it out between buyer and seller. Stick around at the end of the video. I'll tell you how low it came in and how we were able to still make a deal happen. As a seller, I know you're thinking about appraisals. You want to know everything about them. Here's how it works. First off, you need to know that the appraiser is randomly selected. They aren't chosen by the buyer. They're randomly selected by the bank. Hopefully they know the area, and hopefully you chose a buyer who's using a lender that has local appraisers on their appraiser panel. So before the appraiser gets there, what you should do is provide a list of improvements, or your agent representative provide a list of improvements you've made to the property since you have lived there. Your agent will also provide the appraiser, hopefully you're using a good trusted local agent, with comparable property sales, and hopefully you have adjusted your home price accordingly. But that list of improvements is really important to the appraiser, especially if you're selling for above what other people have sold for in the neighborhood. Do not leave receipts, do not leave the exact dollar amount. They don't want to see that. They have adjustments that they can make that are specific to the area. But everything you've done, from painting to additions to new windows, new furnace, all of that adds up to the appraiser. What doesn't add up is the Maserati you have in your garage or the brand new Wolf refrigerator, because you can take the refrigerator out. So the appliances, things like that, don't matter. The appraiser, how long are they going to be at your house? They're probably only going to be at your house 30 to 45 minutes. They're going to take measurements. Yes, you can be home while they are there. They may ask you some questions you feel comfortable you can answer for them. Your agent may also meet them at the property. Now, when that appraisal comes back to the lender, hopefully everything is good, and you will get a notification from the buyer's representative that, hey, we're all good on the appraisal. Are you going to get it? Do you want to see what the value is? Sorry, too bad. The buyer paid for it, so you are not entitled to a copy of the appraisal. The only time the seller gets to see the appraisal is if it comes back low and the buyer wants to negotiate. Oftentimes, if it's back low, then the buyer, they could back out, or you could come to an agreement on price. But don't give up without a fight. You can challenge the appraisal by having your agent submit comparable properties to the lender. The lender is the one that is challenging the appraisal. They're saying, hey, wait a minute, you didn't count this sale, or you miscalculated the square footage in the finished basement, or we have these improvements. Your agent should dig deep, look for off-market sales. These are ones that are not in the MLS, but you should never really price your home above what it could appraise for anyway. So if you do have this bad appraisal, you and the buyer can come together. The buyer can say, hey, I am willing to come up with cash above appraised value if their loan allows for it, if they still qualify, or if they have the cash. Or you can say as the seller, okay, I think maybe the appraisal was right, I'll come down to your price. Or what often happens is you negotiate and meet somewhere in the middle. So use your negotiating power. Hopefully you've got a good negotiator on your side to do that. Now, if you are so far off that the buyer is going to say, hey, I can't afford it, I don't have any extra money, you can move on to the next buyer, but just be aware that this doesn't continue to happen. With some loan types like FHA and VA loans, that appraisal stays with your property. So you can't actually take another FHA or VA buyer above that appraised value unless they're willing to pay for it, because it's going to be stuck there for a while. So bottom line, the appraiser is randomly selected. That value is really important to you and to the buyer. You can challenge it if you want to. Just be aware, if you continue to go on, this could keep happening over and over and over again until you get some comparable sales. Well, good luck with your appraisal and good luck with your home sale. Drop some comments, like the video. Thanks so much for watching. Over 1,500 home sales. This is the absolute lowest appraisal I had ever had. $400,000 under the $1.1 million offer. Absolutely insane. But the appraiser said, well, I couldn't find any comps comparable in the local area, which it only had 9 sales over the year. We argued with the appraiser. We tried to get it up. In the end, she only came up a little bit. So guess what? Buyer, seller, agents got together. We all contributed in. We made this happen for this buyer and seller, made it work. But that's how important the appraisal is to the process. Sometimes it can feel like it's not fair, but it is a huge part of the process. The other thing we can do, put it back on the market. That might just happen again and again. Okay, here's to hoping you have better luck with your appraisal.